culture clash in Israel. How far will gender segregation go? Tensions are rising in Israel as the ultra Orthodox influence on public life expands, sparking fears over increasing gender segregation. A notable incident took place when Inbal Boxerman, an Israeli woman, attempted to board a public train in Tel Aviv. She was confronted by ultra Orthodox men who informed her that that train was quote unquote only for men. While the Israeli Supreme Court has deemed such forced gender segregation on public transport illegal, similar instances are becoming more common. These growing concerns are compounded by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's political concessions to the ultra Orthodox and far right parties in his governing coalition. Some of these concessions involve proposals to segregate audiences by gender at certain public events, empower all male and rabbinical courts further, and even permit businesses to deny services based on religious beliefs. As a testament to the shifting dynamics, Israel dropped to 83rd place in a global gender gap report, despite historically guaranteeing rights for women since its 1948 Declaration of Independence. Commenting on this concerning trajectory, women's rights advocate Moran Zer Katzenstein warned, quote, "What is going on here is not an issue of left or right. They are changing the rules of the game, and it will have a dramatic effect on women. Our rights will be harmed first." So I thought that this was really interesting, important to cover because I was not aware of how all the ways in which gender segregation is just exploding in Israel right now. Um, and so, one of the things that I want to read a portion of an article from the New York Times um, because this kind of just seemed so twisted to me. Okay, so Armin, pay attention to this segment. Supporters of expanding the rabbinical court's jurisdiction, such as Matan Kahana, a former religious affairs minister who remains in parliament but is not in the governing coalition, argue that as a pluralistic society, Israel should tolerate sex segregation in some arenas to accommodate the ultra orthodox, for whom it is a way of life. That made my brain explode. I need your reaction.
As a way to promote tolerance, we have to promote intolerance because our way of life requires for us to be intolerant. So please be tolerant of our intolerance. That's
Yeah, because
basically what
it's
this means. Yes.
pluralism to promote
Right.
sex segregation. It's
Mm.
pluralism to treat women as something that needs to be hidden. It's
Right.
pluralism to allow this in the most conservative, high control groups in our society to just let this run wild in the public space.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
are you
Just
kidding me?
this sounds a lot like the Christians in the United States they used to say, like, please be respectful of our racism. And now they're like, please be respectful of our homophobia. Then went to please let us please be tolerant of our homophobia. And now the latest version is please be tolerant of our transphobia. And I'm like, no, okay, no, we're not gonna. There's a limit to tolerance. Just because tolerance is a good thing, that doesn't mean we have to go all the way. So F that, and you could shove it. You could shove your bigotry up yours. Right? I'm not going to finish that sentence. So no. This is secularism does not mean that we accept all forms of bigotry and discrimination and sexism. No. Okay. And by the way, this is a good reminder to people that religions can make even the best, most secular countries horrible, right? So just because, I mean, Israel is supposed to be the most advanced country in the Middle East, but you can see how it's going backwards because of religion. When Christopher Hitchens said religion poisons everything, it absolutely, that's one absolutist statement that I could agree with. Like it does, Look at how look how it's destroying such a advanced country.
Yeah.
The vast majority of the problems that Israel faces is because of religion. It's horrible to see what religion is doing with Israel's secularism and democracy. It's such a shame. Such
Well,
a
I thought
shame.
it'd be interesting for you to share some of your experiences of when you went to go visit Israel, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you remember you were with genetically modified skeptic and you
Yes.
talked to some people. I can't remember what city you were in, but there you were talking, I might be wrong, but you were talking to a girl about how in ultra orthodox communities it's treated when women learn how to drive or when women go to schools. And she was talking about how because she learned how to drive and got a driver's license, the whole community basically like ostracized her family. And is that ringing a bell?
If I Yeah, yeah, if okay, so what I specifically remember was the feminist activists who will go into these religious communities and put posters on the wall that is supposed to act like it's a religious poster, because or else they will take it down, blaming. So a lot of these posters is constantly warning women about um outsiders and the modern world and like that part of that. That's Tel Aviv, by the way. I'm not talking about a religious city. I'm not talking about Jerusalem. There was a certain part of Tel Aviv which is absolutely very religious, closed off. Like the women there are completely live in their own bubble. They're not allowed to leave that environment. They don't have phones, but they don't have internet. They don't have anything. They don't know anything. Even though they live in Tel Aviv, they have no idea about what's happening in the outside world. So these feminists, they will go there and they will post. So, for example, you see some of the religious posts on the wall because they don't have internet, so they just have to go read off things off the wall. Some of them are saying like there was a car accident yesterday, and this is because we saw some woman wearing pants or something, and
Oh
that's
my
why there was a
God.
car accident. Yeah, because God was angry because somebody somewhere wore pants or something, right? But another thing that the feminists do, like among these posters, there's some of them that are secret spy posters because they're warning you about these feminist groups that are coming and educating you about your rights. But the poster, even though it seems like it's a warning, it was actually posted by the feminists themselves, disguising as a religious post to inform women there that there are supportive groups out there. Do you know what I'm
Mhm.
talking about?
Mhm. That's
So it's a
so
trick.
clever.
Yes, yes, yes. So that's what I remember, and that was pretty cool. The
And it's
sneaky
so
way of
crazy
trying
to
to.
think that in a country like Israel, like these are the lengths that people have to go to just to get these messages to people that like women, like you have rights. You can
Yes.
protect yourself. Like you are owed
Yeah.
protection by the state.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. A lot of these women in Israel, religious women, they don't know that there are support groups. Like they don't know they have rights. Like they don't, like they are being forced to live in a certain way, and they don't even know that they have a choice, that they're legally protected if they want to come out of it. And they don't even know
mhm.
that there are funds out there in Israel. There are a lot of atheists and secular and feminist funds out there that if they leave, there will be money supporting them and trying to educate them and get them job and a lot of other things, right? But they don't go for these support because they don't even know that they exist. So that's the only thing that is keeping them in the prison is the lack of awareness of the existence of these things,
Mhm.
and it's so hard to
Information
get them that
control.
information. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And it's the
yeah.
direction that this is heading in is really worrying. Like in this article, it talks about an incident where bus drivers were refusing to pick up women because they were wearing like crop tops and workout clothes. So there are like
Right.
public service workers that are denying services to Israeli citizens based on just how they're dressing. And like, and there was another example that I wanted to cover. Let me try to find it. Um,
I'm gonna read some of the
It's just
comments
so
that D
scary,
had.
like, there were so many details in this article where I was like, "What is this? The Islamic Republic?"
Oh yeah, actually, that's a comment that D highlighted here for us as well. D is saying the only difference between, I mean, not D, this person that D highlighted, the only difference between ultra Orthodox Jews, Sharia Muslims, and Christian nationalists is the word they use to describe the deity whose teachings they pretend to follow. Okay, but that's a little bit simplifying it, but yeah, I see what they're trying to get at. Paula is saying Christ, these misogynist pricks have an entire global cabal of pigs attacking women rights, and the LGBT folks. Okay, so I suggest not using comparison to animals, especially when we're talking about Jewish people. That's very dangerous, okay, because it might brings up a whole bunch of other form of bigotry that we don't want to suggest here. So there's a way to to point out how disgusting this behavior is
Yeah.
without using animal comparisons. Please be careful. Oh, by the way,
Mhm.
look at the picture here in the tweet. Like, you see those papers on the. That's what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
You see, because they shouldn't have internet. That's where they get the information from. You see all that, Hebrew letters on the, yeah. So that's how that works. So yeah, that brings a lot of memories back from Tel Aviv for me. But
I
anyway, I
wanted
like
I
this.
wanted to read this one piece of the article that blew my mind. Okay. Quote, in a global gender gap report issued by the World Economic Forum in June that ranks 146 countries, Israel dropped to the 83rd place from 60th place last year. From 60 to
Oh well.
83rd. Although the report ranked Israel first in terms of women's education, the country's ranking for women's political empowerment slipped to 96th, just below Pakistan from 61 the previous year.
Oh well.
Within the span of 1 year?
That's what right religious, ultra orthodox, far right nationalist parties would do to your country.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's how it works. I get it. I completely get it. Yeah. This is what religion does. This is how fast religion will take you back. When people can't say, like, no, it doesn't happen here. Like, people in the US didn't think that it will happen to them. One of the most advanced countries in the world, women's rights to their own body has been taken away from them because of religion. Yeah, these things happen. Like, the rights that people have fought for hundreds of years, religion will take it away like this if you don't guard it. That's why I say, these things like feminism, people are like, oh, these countries don't need feminism anymore. No, they still need it, because it's not just important to take the rights. When you take the rights, your job is not finished. Now you have to
Mhm.
guard them, or else it will go
Mhm.
away. It's always important to know that after you take the rights, your job has only just begun. It hasn't ended. Now you have to keep what you have suffered, what you have paid so much to get. By the way,
Yeah.
Qassam is here. Qassam
Oh
is
my
saying,
god, Gossam
hey,
June. Tori.
yes. By the way,
Um,
Qassam, I'm only saying hi to you and not to me, because you're the only one who's important here. But that's okay. A2 is saying, bah, bah, Armin and Susanna. These are people from the Persian side coming over
I know.
here to the
I love
English
that. So,
side. Yeah.
for people on the English side that don't know, I came on the Persian show on Friday and hung out and had a lot of fun with everyone over there. And it was explaining about some of the political advocacy I've done recently. And yeah, it was amazing. I want to come back to the Persian community so much. Everyone was so nice to me. I had so much fun. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, we got a super chat
Um,
from Gasian American saying
yes.
when women were forbidden from learning kanji, they invented hiragana. I didn't know that. Human ingenuity knows no borders. Also, the word cabal is anti Semitic. Agree, agree, and agree.
Right. Okay, that's a good point, Asian American. Thank you for letting us know. Yeah, okay, that's also, we have to be careful with those words. Thank you so much, Asian American, for that. I appreciate that. Some
And
good
thank you for the
information.
super chat.
Also, yeah, and also Kenny just bought 10 memberships, and people were saying 10 gifts. Woohoo! Someone
Wow,
was saying
thank
that.
you, Kenny. This is
Yes,
so sweet.
thank you,
So
Kenny.
that's not good news. I'm like, I didn't say it was good news. I just said we needed the clap. And says, fine, I'll create my own good news. And he started giving
And
out
that,
the gifts. That's
I
so
that
sweet.
like, yeah, he was waiting for good news, and he decided to create. He became the good news that we needed. Thank you. This is like this is very poetic. Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do. And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.